Welcome back. As I mentioned, we have Director Mike Gaskins here on behalf of the El Toro Water District. Well, welcome to the studio. It's nice to have you in.
Well, thank you. We've talked several times virtually. This is the first time in person. I'm enjoying it.
Nice to have you here. Well, there's a lot of things to talk about, of course, but most importantly is we always need to be reminded of emergency preparedness. And, you guys have to do an awful lot of preparations to make sure that our water still gets to us in case of an emergency. So
and the waste goes away. So
and the waste, yeah, we need to make sure that does too.
It's not a two-way street. But
yes, absolutely.
It's a whole process.
Right. So, in the event of certain things, and even COVID presented some challenges as well, go over some of the emergencies that we need to be aware of.
Well, we grew up talking about plague in the past, and yet we just experienced it.
Yeah.
And so the modern medicine really wasn't able to keep up. So the slide that's on the screen, it shows different kinds of emergencies that are going to happen. Hopefully they're rare, hopefully, but we're going to have earthquakes. We've had fires. They haven't gotten down to the village, but could be. Flooding is a reality. Power outages, completely going outages. So we have to be, as a water district, prepared to deal with all of those. And we need to have a buffer in place so we can continue to supply water and operate the wastewater plant, et cetera, for some period of time.
Okay. Right
now, we think we can go, during the winter months, certainly 60 days without new water coming into the district. And when there have been major outages in the past, the maximum time, I think, is 11 days to repair a major pipeline.
Okay.
So we think we're really in good shape.
All right.
For that.
Excellent. Now, you have imported supply diversification. You have equipment. Tell me some of the things that you have in place.
Well, all of our pumping plants, because most of our water flows through the system by gravity, but every once in a while you've got to take it uphill. Up to where the tanks are. So we have lift stations that move that. We also have lift stations that move some of the sewage up so it can continue to flow by gravity.
Okay.
All of those run on electricity. If there were an outage, we have to have emergency generators, and we have both in place emergency generators at our pumping stations. And we have several mobile generators that can run the pump stations comfortably, so we can move them around. We also have good neighbor relationships with adjacent water districts, so we can supply equipment to them if necessary, and vice versa.
Okay, perfect. Now, you did touch on generators, so in case of a power outage, you have things in place for that.
Yes, and we have our storage of our own diesel fuel to be able to keep them running.
Okay.
We don't need to go to a gas station or get a fuel delivery in order to maintain our buffer.
Okay, great.
There's generators there on the screen behind us. Those are big generators, both in the station and on the mobile.
That's great. And then for emergency purposes, do you guys go through drills?
The crews do. We don't. Because if you look at the back of my ID card, it says I'm a disaster service worker.
Oh.
And all of us are. So if one of the directors shows up, I can direct traffic. I'm not going to be repairing a pipe.
Gotcha.
But our crews do go through simulations and different things. They do confined space rescues. They do all kinds of regular training so that if the real thing happens, we're ready.
Right.
There's the Water Emergency Response Group, We Rock, which is a water-specific emergency group that we have the pleasure of actually providing them the space for their emergency center, which is up El Toro, up in Mission Viejo. And they're the coordinating group for all the water districts and things like that, and they keep good track of it, and we're providing some services to them. We feel like we have great neighbors.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That's great. And then, like you said, you guys do this on a regular basis to make sure that we're all prepared. Now, in order for us to be prepared for individual homes, what are some items that you think we should have on hand just in case?
You should have an emergency stash of food and water of sorts. I have a motorhome over in the storage yard, so I think Janet and I can go for probably at least 2 weeks without any trouble.
Okay.
But not everybody has that. But
Yeah.
you should be able to get through with water and food for a minimum of 3 days.
Okay.
And you should also have contacts to notify people so that they can check on you, do that. There is the, 1 gallon a day per person. I would think that's almost light.
Yes. Yeah.
On that. And if you have pets,
Yeah.
you want to make sure that they're taking care of food for them, et cetera.
Right. Now, one thing I notice is that people, we haven't had an emergency, knock on wood, in quite some time here. So let's say I've got all the water. At what point do you swap out that water? I mean, does it
How
last?
long will it store?
Yeah, how long will it be good?
If you buy the sealed cans of water, some of that's good for 50 years.
Oh, it is?
If you're buying water from Sparklets,
Yes.
I would say a couple of months.
Okay.
If you buy it,
Yeah.
cycle it.
Yeah, because those are sealed, but they're not really airtight.
And they aren't disinfected.
Oh.
The water that we deliver you to you in your sink is disinfected.
Right.
So it is safe to drink. It's not going to go bad on you unless you have an under sink filter that you haven't changed. And those
Yeah.
get to be their own source of bad things.
So the bottled waters that we buy at the grocery store should be fine for quite some time.
A couple of months.
Oh, those are only a couple months. So which are the ones that are that last for years?
They're actually in metal cans, sealed in metal cans.
Oh, I didn't
Go
know
to some of
that.
the survival websites and you'll find them, the people that are doing that.
Okay.
And your big own can of wheat, so you can grind your flour. That's a little too
Well,
much.
let's pray it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
And also you can go to ready.gov, and then there's another website, the ocredcross.org, which
Right.
have lots of ideas of things that you can have on hand.
And Alert OC.
AlertOC.org is another organization that you can sign up for alerts.
Yes, most of us are becoming computer literate, or at least iPhone literate, or and so the Alert OC is a good thing to put down so that you will get the real news,
Right. Okay.
official bulletins.
Yeah, we had that actually happen when they had some fires, actually not too far from here,
Right.
but that did come, or when sometimes you have some of the air quality was bad from those fires in our area, they did have some alerts there. And then the other thing, like you mentioned, is obviously you guys have other means for obviously local here. You've got social media, so you can be followed
We
on
have a website
Facebook, and your
and
website.
a Facebook page.
Right, and your Facebook page, which is great. So Facebook and Twitter is El Toro Water. That's at El Toro Water. And then, of course, if you have any phone messages or you want to call to get more information, it can be 949-837-0660.
Right. And we have great staff. They're all standing by ready to help you.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, perfect. Well, thank you for the update.
Okay.
It's always good to have emergencies on our mind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
And if you want more information, of course, you can always go to etwd.com. We'll be right back.